Hello everybody, this is The Last Raider, and we are back with another video, and I promised to do this video, and I am delivering. I'm hoping I can keep this short and sweet, to just do an explanation, and I'm going to run through some slides here, pretty much in comparison to what happened with the Sonic movie. Now, a lot of people were wondering about the Snyder Cut, and I mentioned that there were two movies that have preceded this, and if the Snyder Cut succeeds, you're going to see probably a complete paradigm shift in Hollywood and the way entertainment is run. We've been in this situation where and we're going to, for the sake of simplicity here, we're going to call them SJWs, but pretty much remember this is encompassing anyone who's socialist, third wave feminist, beta male, or anyone who has some sort of weird ideology, such as exposing kids, believing that child pornography or pedophilia is a good thing. These are the types of morons you're dealing with. So, with that being said, this all started with the Joker movie. Now, for those who are wanting a recap of what that was, the Joker movie was a moderately funded produced movie about one of the more favored and I wouldn't say loved villains. I would say one of the more interesting villains of Batman's Rogues Gallery. Now, what happened with that was we had a kind of a moment. We had a proving moment that happened where the SJWs came out in full force because, they've got media, they've got their own media companies and everything else, and began to screech and holler about how the Joker movie was going to create an incel rebellion. There was going to be bad things that were going to happen. People were going to be shot. Just really horrendous things. And it kind of stuck with me for a bit because I just watched that and I was thinking, you idiots are doing the same exact stupidity that happened with Elvis Presley back when he did his first TV appearance. And for those who don't know what that was about, if you look at old Elvis TV appearances that were shown on television, you'll notice that Elvis almost always is being watched from the chest up. And there's a reason for this. Back at the end of the day, these Puritans, the very same people we're dealing with now, came out and said that if you have Elvis Presley shaking his hips on camera, that it's going to take our daughters and throw them into such a sexual craze that they're going to run out and just start having sex with random men in the streets and we won't be able to stop them. I'm not joking. This is an actual argument. So the TV producers back in the day, back then they had some balls. They said, okay, we'll solve it. And they placed Elvis Presley on there from the chest up, not shaking his hips, because the hips were the problem. So they just removed the hip problems. And the purpose of it was to get Elvis Presley off the air. Some people back then actually had a belief that Elvis Presley might have been half black. This is based on the fact that he had soulful music. Yeah, racists were stupid. They're still stupid. Okay, just don't ask. Okay, they've always been stupid. But you have this thing that happened with Joker, and what happened was you had a moderately funded movie make crap tons of money. People went and saw this. They loved the idea that no one was bowing down to these SJWs finally. And people went and saw it because if it's not going to bow to SJWs, it's probably going to be good. And then you have these SJW media outlets who are just hammering away. You also have another factor that a lot of people don't talk about, and that is, I was talking with, I want to get his name right here. Sean-Luc Connery, I think is his name. I'm going to tag him in the Twitter handle so he can come watch this. I probably butchered that name. But Sean-Luc Connery and me were talking about it, and he was mentioning a a eye drop commercial that he had seen from Japan. It's quirky. It's got girls in sailor outfits. They become giant, fighting a giant kaiju eye monster. They transform because they take eye drops, and it's fun. It is just great. It's got chicks being chicks, and they're helping out. They end up saving the monster because the monster's apparently got an itchy eye, and that's why he's running around blasting things with heat beams out of his iris. And it's just fun. It's just happy and fun. And the conversation kind of went, he kind of asked the question, in joking, why does this make me feel so good? And I said, because Japan still has fun. And he says, fun. It's been so long. We're still bullshitting each other. And I go, well, that's because we're in a fun famine right now. Japan has fun aplenty, and we're over here trying to find non-recycled toilet paper in the zombie apocalypse. So they're sitting back there with all this food, all this preparation, and we're all just trying to survive off what we can get. And when the Joker movie came out, it was a good, well-written movie that was just very well done. And people went and watched it. And you got this massive inflow because the first few people went and saw it and were like, dude, I remember when people first went and saw it, they were like, dude, it's a great movie. You have to go watch it. So I went and watched it. It was, my God, Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker, all the stuff with it. The fact that he has a disorder for laughing is just you've never seen such a good storytelling mechanic placed in since the vault doors in Die Hard. And those of you that have studied scripts will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm not going to get that far because I'll be chasing rabbits on that for too long. I love Die Hard, so we don't need to talk about that right now. We'll never get through this video. But what ended up happening after that was you saw this kind of proving moment where the SJW media realized we can't just control people anymore. They lost. And the problem that created, and this is the problem that it creates for them, when you have a company make a crap ton of money, because that's why they send a lot of these movies overseas. When you make a crap ton of money in the States, almost as much money as you would make in China, it tells you that you're doing something wrong. And this is what SJWs have needed for movie companies to not figure out for the longest time. Because if they realize that something is wrong and they're doing something wrong, then the movie companies are going to try to fix it. Just as they did with Sonic the Hedgehog when it comes out. Sonic comes out. We're announcing Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a video game movie. We're trying to put a good story to it. And they drop the first Sonic deal. They dropped the first avatar of Sonic and of what Sonic's going to look like in the show. And it's bad. Okay? People got pissed. And fans got out there and voiced their concern about it. They told everyone, there's like, no, we don't like this. This is not what we want to see on screen. We don't want to see this. This is going hyper real, and we just want a fun movie. That's it. And Hollywood learned from the Joker and took the people's advice. And this flipped out all the shill media. The SJW media that you have out there flipped out because you have them listening to the fans themselves. They wanted to say that you're interfering with the artistic idea of the artistic interpretation of the director, which is bullshit. Because unless you wrote it, unless you are the writer and director, I don't see what vision is about on this. But what has happened here, and what happens, is as they're freaking out about this, Paramount is looking at this saying, they did this with Joker. Let's change the character and see what happens. It's a minor thing to do. So the risk was not really big. If they still got the same reaction after changing Sonic, well, they probably would have just went back. But when they changed the character, there was this overwhelming support on social media for the change. Everyone said, this is better. We'll go see the movie now because y'all did this. We love this idea. What's in Sonic? The white dude has a black girlfriend, for frick's sake. Okay? You still have a white dude as the bad guy. Jim Carrey was amazing in that movie. I was worried about Robotnik. I was like, man, we're going to have like a nude scene with Robotnik. I really don't want to see that. We could still have that happen. But Jim Carrey just played the idea of an arrogant genius very well. I'm going to get into a talk about it because I like Sonic the Hedgehog and I'm going to buy the movie eventually. But the movie came out with the corrections. I'm telling you, I went and saw it, and the theater was just packed with little kids, old and young, who just wanted to see Sonic the Hedgehog. And once Sonic came up, baby Sonic, the entire theater just, oh, I thought, yeah, this movie's going to make a shit ton of money. Well, after all that was done, all the shill media, all the SJWs, they're freaking out about it. Well, then comes the idea of the Snyder Cut. And this has been something that's been worked on for a long time, the Snyder Cut. What's happening now, and what I think will happen, and what is scary to these SJWs, is if the Snyder Cut is successful, you'll be 0 for 3 now. That's going to be 3 successful movies, 2 of which was from Warner Brothers, that has proven that good, wholesome entertainment is going to work, and listening to the fans is a good idea. Now, the reason why this is bad for SJWs, and the reason why they fear it, is because SJWs have been trying, anything that they do, they are doing to politically take over and affect politics, because culture is just upstream from politics. Whatever happens in culture is going to have a direct effect on the politics of that country. So, their plan this entire time has been to assimilate everything. Movies, TV, comic books, tabletop games, video games. Nothing has been safe from these idiots. They are in the process right now of trying to take over anime from the Japanese. And thank God that the samurais in Japan, they still have that warrior spirit going on. They're still giving them hell the entire time. They're giving them the finger, they're fighting back, and they've seen what's happened. Because you've got groups like Gamergate and Comicsgate, they've seen what's happened. They've learned from Comicsgate and Gamergate, and they are putting those lessons to effect over there. The fans are fighting. But here's the problem, like I said. If the legacy media stops listening to the fans, then the SJWs, their whole attempt at getting to their utopia, suddenly starts to crumble in front of them. And this makes them afraid. Because if they can't have their utopia, all this work that they've done up till now has been pointless. They have wasted everyone's time. Like I said, we are in a fun famine right now. Good entertainment that the fans like is going to make billions. It can, in my opinion, if Hollywood companies start listening to the fans and giving the fans what they want and don't preach at them, they are going to make tons of money. Look at Avengers Endgame. Look at most of the Marvel movies. With the exception of 1 or 2, the Marvel movies in the past couple of years have been solely for the entertainment of the fans. That's probably not going to stay there. That's probably not going to stay the same forever, because Marvel is going to push the new heroes they're supposed to have in there. They're racist trash. Just sorry. It's all racist trash. But anyway, folks, tell me what you think in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification if you're new to the channel. And as always, I am the Last Raider. Stay frosty and keep your heads on a swivel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.